On nous dit souvent dans la vie qu'il faut respecter les aînés et se rapprocher le plus possible des personnes aînées, personnes âgées pour pouvoir être enseignées et bénéficier de leur expérience dans la vie. Vous savez, les personnes âgées, ils sont premièrement nés avant nous, ils sont passés par plusieurs situations, vécu des expériences qui pourraient être bénéfiques pour nous, les jeunes adultes. Moi, étant moi-même immigrante, lorsque j'ai quitté mon pays pour venir ici au Canada, vous savez, mon intégration a été, je dirais, facile parce que je suis une personne qui est quand même assez réservée, pas extravertie, je peux dire. Donc, moi, m'a pas posé difficulté de rester dans mon coin et de me développer par moi-même. Mais en étant dans un nouveau pays, il y a quand même des challenges parce que vous savez, toutes les cultures ne sont pas les mêmes. Il faut terminer l'école, il faut trouver un emploi, il faut fonder une famille. Donc, étant donné que ces aspects-là sont différents ou leur importance sont différents d'une société à une autre, je me suis dit que je devais essayer quand même de jongler entre moi, ma culture à moi et la culture de ma société d'accueil. Donc, vivre au Canada et vivre au Gabon, vivre au Cameroun, vous savez, la conception ou les valeurs de la vie ne sont pas les mêmes. En Afrique, nous sommes des personnes qui sont quand même assez communautaires, qui sont sociables, alors qu'en Occident, la société est plus individualiste, donc c'est chacun pour soi et Dieu pour tous. Donc, je suis tombée récemment sur je dirais pas un reportage, mais c'est plus une vidéo où les aînés canadiens partageaient des conseils que je trouvais quand même assez pertinents à nous jeunes adultes ou même aux jeunes tout court. Et je me suis dit que je devais à tout prix vous partager cette vidéo pour qu'ensemble, nous puissions apprendre d'eux parce que ils sont quand même, ce sont des témoignages des personnes qui sont dans la cinquantaine, soixantaine. Il y a même une dame qui est dans les 80 ans et quelques. Et je pense que on peut vraiment apprendre beaucoup de ce qu'ils nous ont partagé. Donc, je vous laisse visionner cette vidéo. Partagez-moi votre point de vue dans les commentaires. Que vous vivez en Occident ou en Afrique, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez en fait? Selon vous, quelle est l'importance de la vie tout simplement, ou en fait, qu'est-ce qui vous fait lever chaque jour? C'est quoi votre but dans la vie? Je veux vous lire. Je veux vous lire dans les commentaires, donc je vais pas trop argumenter. Je vous laisse visionner la vidéo et partageons notre vécu dans les commentaires. Et il y a le témoignage de cette femme de 60 ans qui m'a le plus touchée et donc je vous le fais bénéficier également. N'oubliez pas de liker la vidéo, partager après l'avoir visionnée bien sûr. Bye bye.
3 weeks, I will be 91.
What does it feel like to be almost 91?
Just like another day. You're opening one door and you're closing another.
It's always about thinking positive, being active, trying to go to bed early, which I can't do as an Aurora hunter. The mind, of course. Thinking positive, thinking young, thinking healthy.
It doesn't feel any different for me. And they say you're supposed to be wiser, but I don't think that's really the case.
At 40, you figure you're supposed to have all the things. You're supposed to have the house, the partner, the fence, the dog, all those things. And at 40, I don't have those things. I had those things at one point, and I just don't now. So I've already succeeded, and now it's on to the next adventure.
How old are you?
94.
You look younger than 90.
Well, they say life begins at 40, and that was when I came to Yellowknife. I came up in 1968 and ran a flying school here. And I have been here 54 years.
What does it feel like to be 94?
I have a hard time realizing that I am that old. You just live another year.
Did you guys say that you feel better than most people who are around your age?
Depends on the day, but I think we're in an area where it's more positive than a lot of places where people are living.
Yeah, and just the nature of where we live. I mean, it's a great place. I think that gives us an advantage to feel more positive every day.
What brought you to where you are right now? What is that story that you both have?
For me, I think it was the overall need to heal. I spent almost 20 years in the city, and the city can be hard on people. And it was good to come home and start my healing. And now it's time to share that with other people.
What was the hard part of the city that you were talking about?
A lot of people in the city are not happy. I think people get caught up in keeping up with the Joneses, high-paced careers, and the more you make, the more you spend kind of thing. And I think just getting out of the rat race was what I needed to do.
I retired early. I retired at 52. I never really thought I'd be kind of living off-grid on a houseboat, lugging my own water, but yeah, here we are, and I'm pretty happy with where I am. I mean, when I was working in an office, you know, there was lots of rewarding things about it, but there were many days where I felt, is this really what I want to be doing with my life, sitting behind a desk, staring at a computer screen, when there was kind of a big lake and a big world out there to be out there seeing and enjoying. It's going by quick, and there's some big adventures I want to get under my belt before I get too old to do them.
And what if you had, maybe 15 years ago, you had switched and you had quit your job? What do you think life would have looked like?
It would have looked a lot different, but probably a lot better. I think I would have had not as much money in the bank, but a lot more really neat experiences and memories and some cool relationships that, in my mind, are way more valuable than having a big bank account. I'm into collecting that kind of stuff now as opposed to putting money aside.
Okay, so tell us, why did we stop here?
As a kid, we used to stop here and be able to do some viewing with a beautiful canyon. We sometimes need to refill our water, and this is a nice flowing creek. Best water in the world. It's a fountain of youth right here, so.
There's not too many places in the world where you can do this. Beautiful. I'm not a water expert, but this is great water.
You look younger.
Thank you. I drank from the fountain of youth.
That's right. No, but this is what the Yukon. There's still beautiful, pure places like this.
What's it like living in the Northwest Territories? You guys live in a part of the world I would say most people don't know much about. What is life like here?
Whenever I leave Yellowknife, I can't wait to come home. So this is home. Our whole family loves being around nature. Right here, it's just at your fingertips. It's all around. You don't have far to go. We're just surrounded by it for snowmobiling, boating, hiking. It just has everything that I need to be happy.
I came up here in '84 for 2 weeks, and then I gave up leaving. It's a very vibrant town. It's multicultural. Everybody knows everyone. It's small enough that there's a sense of community that you don't get in a bigger city. There's so much depersonalization. Everyone's in their little cell phone world. It's that human personal contact.
In our language, we call it yake nakas. The sky is stirring. People are realizing we have a beautiful country here in Canada. Let's go check out different parts of it. It's like an oasis in the Arctic. It is.
Can you describe what the Yukon is like, living here is like?
It's a beautiful place to live. I enjoy people. I enjoy going out into the wilderness. I enjoy hunting and fishing, and this place offers you that.
I think it's, again, going back to the beauty and lack of population. And I think to come and see that is amazing. To just, be in nature. Be without millions of people around.
The animals far outnumber the people here. That's a unique thing in the world. And it's magical. Kiwani just has a really nice vibe to it. And if you give yourself enough time to not just drive through it, but actually take a minute, and like everybody feels that if you spend time here. And I think that's a unique part of it, right?
We can't understand it till you're here.
Right, that you have to come see it, but it's special, yeah.
What do I need to know about your upbringing to understand who you are today?
That I was raised in the traditional Dene lifestyle, that I was raised by my grandparents. They were my mother figure, my father figure. That's what gave me my power, I guess I would say, my body of armor, my suit of armor, to protect me for the challenges as I was growing up. And I went through a lot as a young Indigenous person, a lot of racism, a lot of seeing opportunities pass by to other people that are not Indigenous. It's a lot of challenges, for sure. But that stuff made me stronger because I did excel in spite of those things. For some reason, I had that intestinal fortitude to excel better and prove them wrong. I feel blessed to be raised the way I was raised, yeah.
What is a truth that you've learned about life that you wish more people understood?
That everybody's different. You have to accept that everybody's different and then just live amongst each other. Like, it was really hard growing up because there's lots of different people that came and they treat us differently, like because of our skin or whatever, and we have to try to live amongst each other. So just to have to accept each other as different people.
If you could go back in time knowing everything you know today, and you could talk to your 25-year-old self and give him one piece of advice, what would you say to him?
Start this business now. I started business like when I was like 30-something, 37, 38 or whatever. I don't know, all I say is like it's unique. We're First Nation. We know every little inch of this land here. You know, all the plants, all the medicine, and you know how to help people heal, help people survive and thrive. And we're just try to share what we have and try to share the knowledge and stories and as much as possible and letting people try.
If you could go back in time to your 25-year-old self, knowing everything you know today at 54, what advice would you give him?
Travel. Stay clear of the mortgages. Go out, see the world, travel. Expose yourself to as many experiences as you possibly can. And then figure out which one of those you really want to focus on. But don't get into a rut early in life.
Follow your dreams. Follow that little feeling right in your gut, right just under your wishbone, and it'll tell you where to go.
You know, follow your heart and use your head and listen to your gut. There's good advice that I think it took me, longer than it should have maybe to accept that, because it is easy to get slipped into a machine and go with the flow until you realize, like, oh, I didn't even pick this career. It just happened to me. But really that voice inside of you it's there. It's telling you what you actually want to do in life.
Everything in moderation.
That's a good one.
I think you can get caught up in whatever you're doing and you can do it too much. I think you need to stop and reassess every once in a while and just moderate.
There's a lot of anxieties in the world and you get stress. But when you suffer from stress, you just have to ask yourself, did it have any impact on changing the outcome about any of those events? It was always no for me. That's what I taught myself in the last 10 years. I wish I would have had that back then.
I wouldn't go back to being 25 for anybody's money, or 40, or even 50. I'm happy with the way life is now. My life has been full of experiences and stories and places I've been, and I like it. I don't need to go back.
If you had to give advice and insight to young people who are working in those jobs and feeling the way that you felt, how would you go about doing what you want to do?
Do not chase a career that you think is going to give you satisfaction and joy because it's going to pay you a lot of money or give you a certain amount of status. Figure out what it is you love doing, pursue it passionately. It'll provide you a good, happy life. If you are miserable doing what you're doing, take a leap of faith and do something different.
Before I was working for the government, I was like a caged grizzly bear working for the government. It was just so frustrating and I wasn't going nowhere. I was not happy. As a matter of fact, I ended up in the hospital because of the stress, because I was a single father working. And what's going to happen if something, what if I get, so it was stress. I had fantasy tour company on my spreadsheets on my computer, but I had no business. So I said, enough's enough. The only way you're going to learn, Joe, is jump in with your 2 feet. You only live once, make the most of it. And I went for it. And next thing you know, I remember there I had my business license and I got a business. Going into business on my own was a different kind of a stress. I almost say it's a healthy stress. I was much more happy. I was doing what I wanted to do. What's BYOB stand for?
Bring your own beer.
Be your own boss. Be your own boss.